Hello. Welcome back to school. Hello. I make sure that this thing is recording because I can never tell if it's recording. So this is going to be a quick little update to fill everyone in, whoever is still subscribed to the channel, what's going on. So for a little bit of time, teacher had holiday, and then I think there was a couple times you had to cancel class or something. I don't know. Oh, I think he was sick. And then there was a time I think something was going on that I wasn't available. I don't know. There was like the whole month of May was a really big mess. And part of June was a really big mess too. Anyways, so as far as updates on everything, we are I don't have it with me because I have to like reprint it and stuff, but I had ran across someone who had made like a checklist for their pupils for studies for the different subjects, and like many of the subjects have like different aspects. Like there's written aspects, there's flashcards, there's recitation stuff or oral work, things like that. So I kind of got that idea, and they got like a little bit sprinkled throughout the week. So one day you might be doing written work for mathematics, another day you might be doing you might be reviewing flashcards and stuff like that. So I kind of looked at it and that actually might be a good idea. So I threw something like that together with the stuff that I'm working on with teacher and magister with mathematics and Braille and music and Latin and whatever else I'm working on. I think I have no, I don't. I thought I had like a print off that I made, but then I just updated it today because there's a lot of stuff that I need to get working on like right now. So I'm going to have to reprint that off, but when I get that done, I will show you guys and kind of show you guys how we're going to kind of set this up. It's not like this is how it must be done, but it's kind of a template so that when we're not studying subjects, like we haven't touched on maths since like September of last year. So in order to keep those subjects in the brain, we're going to try to do like weekly recitation at least like one day a week, or reviewing flashcards at least one day a week, just to make sure that we can still keep that stuff in the forefront, because things have totally gone off the rails with where this whole thing was going. Anyways, so that's kind of that. So in the sense of just where things are at, I just got back from a holiday week, longish holiday. I went out to a campground and had some time up there. I will try to insert photos right there. It is. That's the campsite number. They're setting up the tent. We got like 10 minutes to get this tent set up. We'll see if this happens. But yeah, so those are those. And I'm trying to think what else. We had, I think, a week or so of in-class study hall, whatever you can call it that, where we basically just tried to get caught up on a lot of the miscellaneous stuff that just needed to get done. Like there was almost 2 units of Prima Latina recitation stuff that I was just not getting done. So it was like a lot of feet dragging, and teacher says, okay, you won't do this on your own. We will do it now. So it was okay, but it wasn't like very exciting. But we did get that done. All the quizzes and all that stuff were done. And usually we only mark quizzes for like points or whatever. So I think based on the scoring, I think I passed, but I don't know. I gotta double check. But anyways, that's that. So, and then as far as states and capitals, we're still in the New England states. I think our next state is going to be Connecticut, or however it's said. I'm going to have to figure out how to say that. He says it said Connecticut or something, but it just says, like there's a C in there, and that C should be pronounced Connecticut. It's not that hard to say it. Connecticut. Yeah, there. Anyways, so I think that's our next state we're going to be looking at. And then as far as things with arithmetic and Braille and things like that, like I said, we're going to try to do recitations and flashcards a little bit here and there, just to kind of keep that stuff in the forefront of the brain, so don't forget this stuff. I know we're up to the number 12. We've covered, what is it, the inch? I think we've covered like in the sense of like length. We've covered like what an inch was. Fractions, we've covered a whole, a fourth, a third, an eighth, and a half, I think. And then as measurements, we've covered well, we haven't officially covered the gallon, but it was kind of more or less introduced. But looking at what a gallon was, a pint, a quart, and there's another one. A pint, a quart. It's one that's not used. Now I'm going to want to figure out what it is. I want to say it's also with an S, but I don't know. But anyways, there's another ounce. Is it an? I don't know. Yeah, we should probably go back and review the measurements that we've covered. I'll have to look on my recitation papers, because I've got all that stuff written on there of what I need to know. So yeah, so that's kind of what we've covered with mathematics. So we'll probably just be reviewing that stuff. And then, let me see here. States and capitals. Braille is kind of up in the air right now. I am working on a project for that. I'm not going to say anything about what it is, because I don't know what's going to happen with it. So Braille is up in the air, but I'm sure we'll probably review some of the stuff that we've studied, like, I don't know, like letters and some of the contractions. I know we've looked at like the ED sign, and then maybe some other ones. I don't know. Braille is just one of those really, I think of all the subjects, I think Braille is like the worst. I mean, which is kind of sad, because Braille deals with reading, and if you can't read, you can't learn. So yeah, I'm up a creek without a paddle on that one. So that's kind of where things are at. We're still in the sense of Braille. We were working through the Alphaphonics book, and I think we're on like lesson 20 something. 20 has a date of July 1st of last year. So we've at least got the 20. I don't think we've done 21. So So we've at least got the 20 in this book. So it's kind of a start, I guess, or something. We have more than half of it left. The really tricky thing with that is everything has to be dictated, so I have to braille it all out, and then if I write something, I have to correct it, and it's a really, really cumbersome process right now. But it's all we have right now because I don't have any way of getting that material in braille that I can actually just use it. So that's kind of where the core subjects are. Latin, Magister and I are on more or less of a holiday, but I still have work to do. I have lesson 26, which deals with the fifth. It's pretty bad if I don't know what lesson or what subject it covered. We're on lesson 26. I think we're on lesson 26. There's 25 quiz that I wanted to redo because I didn't really do a very good job on it. Well, it was okay, but it wasn't very confident. Like, I could not tell myself, yep, I'm confident with this material. I was not confident, even though I think I got kind of a passing mark, but I don't know. I'm looking around. I have to get my folder, and I really don't want to get my folder right now. So, I'll do an update specifically on that when I get around to it. But between lesson 25 and 26, I need to get that stuff done. I think 25 is the fifth declension, or 26 is the fifth declension. Either way, I know we've covered up to the fifth declension. And then there's a review unit for Unit 4, and then there's a review unit for, or review, let me stop. There is a review lesson for Unit 4, which covers 3rd, 4th, and 5th declension. And then there is a review lesson for Units 3 and 4, which covers the first 2 declensions, plus the adjectives for declensions 1 and 2, and then the other declensions. So there's a lot of review stuff coming up, but I really don't feel as confident with Unit 4. I think a lot of it is just sporadic stuff. There's a bunch of weeks where we didn't meet, and I'm not good with like reviewing on my own and all that stuff. It's just not good. So I'm not terribly confident with the whole like Unit 4. So we'll see how that happens. But I think I have to try to get Unit 20 or lesson 25 done. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think we're going to get together again near the end of July, early August, possibly. Things are still up in the air on that because Magister is having a lot of stuff going on over summer that he needs to tend to. So until then, I have to kind of be my own person and get all of that stuff done as soon as I can. So, and then as far as other Latin stroke grammar stuff with teacher, we went through all of Prima Latina, which was okay. The Latin part of it was pretty easy, except for memorizing some of the prayers. The table blessing was real exciting. The Lord's Prayer was torturous. In fact, I'm still having trouble with it. Now that we're in Latina Christiana, he is having me recite the Lord's Prayer, even if it's not in the teacher's manual, because he wants me to get that thing learned. Like, I can recite it, but it's not very, like, the second half, what we're calling the second half, where it starts off with Panem Nostrum Quotidianum da nobis hodie. That part, like, when it gets to the forgive us our sins as we forgive our sin, or forgive us our debts as we forgive those who sin against us, or who have debts against, I forget how it goes. No, I can't recite it in English. It's sad. That part, that whole forgiveness thing is really tricky because the words, they both start with D, like to forgive, and sins, which is like Debbie Ta or something like that. But then there's like the different forms that I haven't even learned, like Debbie Tamus or something, or Debbie Timus. And then there's like Debbie Toribus. Well, that one I know. That's like our sins or something. And then there's like Dimiti something. And then there's Demita. I don't know. It's just all these different endings that are just not helping me because they're in forms that I haven't yet studied. So it's a little tricky because they're using a different form that I haven't studied. Although I'm sure Magister and I have gone over this in passing, like to command someone to do something is like you say the verb, but then you don't have a TE at the end or something. I don't know. But if you're commanding a group of people, then you have the TE. Again, we haven't formally studied it, so it's kind of like, yeah, I kind of have an idea, but yeah, I still don't. So, I have the privilege of reciting the Lord's Prayer in Latin for the next 20 some odd lessons throughout the Latina Christiana course. Yay. So teacher is also having me recite it every day when we just get together. I've noticed. So this is kind of like, I don't want to say it's uncomfortable, but it's like, I don't know. But yeah, recitation does help. So if he's just having me recite it, I guess just maybe it'll just pop into my head and I'll get it right one of these days. I don't know. But yes. So we've been just kind of doing that. We did start the Latina Christiana. We're on the second lesson, or no, we're going to be starting the third lesson. But in the sense of just what is going on with that, something I had made comment on was when we went through Prima Latina, sometimes we would cover like a whole unit in like the course of a week, because what we were doing for classwork was like super, super easy. But then like I had like all the drill forms and the recitations and all, just all the extra stuff that I had made up because I like to make extra tables and really make sure that I know what I'm doing. So, and then of course all the recitation stuff. Yeah. So I talked with him about this, and I says, could we stick to at least 1 to 2 lessons for Latin, just to give myself time to actually comprehend what we're covering. So we're going to do that. And hopefully once we're done with all of our holidays and stuff like that. I don't think we have any holidays coming up for the rest of summer, but I'm not sure. But hopefully we'll get a little bit of an even keel on that, and things will just kind of level out. And I will be able to learn, but also like comprehend and take in whatever it is that I'm learning. The Latin, I think, in Christiana, I think is going to be similar, if not a little bit step up from the Prima Latina. So it will again be a nice general Latin review for the stuff that I have been working on with Magister. One of the cool things is it looks like I will be studying in the Christiana course. I think they're going to introduce a second declension. So that'll be exciting. The last unit with Magister deals with all about the second declension. So it'll be kind of cool if we're able to like line those up together. I don't know. But that'll be kind of neat. But in general, it will be a nice review. I may be learning new words. I did take a peek at some of the vocabulary. There's some new ones. The only one that pops off in the top of my head right now is Victoria. Gloria. I don't think Gloria was introduced in first form. I don't think it's in that one, but just it seems like a little bit more practical, like down to earth Latin. I don't know. But yeah, so that is kind of where things are at with Latin studies. In the sense of music studies, I have a huge amount of stuff to do, and yeah. I have a project, a very large project, scheduled for October. So I will need to be doing more practicing in that sense. I haven't been practicing for the past several months for various reasons. One, school sessions at the church. I really don't like to practice when school and stuff is going on. I try not to. Two, I've just had a bunch of other stuff outside of my studies, like other really, really important stuff going on, like appointments and meetings and all kinds of other stuff going on. So I've just needed to kind of get that in order before I could like do anything else, which I don't know. So that is kind of getting itself ironed out. So I have a couple meetings, very important meetings, this not this month, but in July, that I have to tend to and get ready for and do all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'll just have to balance all that stuff out with the amount of work that I need to do. It is over the summer, so I hope I should be able to go in and work at normal hours. I'm hoping to split my work in like morning and then evening. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. But either way, I have a lot of stuff to do for that. In addition, I've got some piano stuff that I need to get working on. Possibly I need to still get that a little bit more ironed out. I might be working with someone with that outside of teacher. But that's kind of still being worked out. So there's a lot of stuff coming up with all of that. So I don't know if I'm going to post everything. I know teacher likes to see what I'm working on, so we'll see. But I don't know. I'm hoping to just get in the mindset of just going and getting my work done without needing to worry about setting up a camera, wondering if I'm going to run out of battery space or storage space, all that stuff. I don't know. So I think if I'm not posting, like if I don't post like a full-on practice session, I might do like like a talking head thing and showing you, hey, this is what I worked on. Hey, this is what I'm having troubles with. Because I do need to focus more on just getting this stuff learned and learning it well. And I just don't need, I just don't want to be bombarded and dealing with, is my phone charged? Is other people around and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, so we'll that might be a smattering of possible practice videos and possible talking heads. At least there will be a talking head with a little overview of what I worked on for that. So I think that pretty much covers where things are at in the sense of updates. I am still alive. Teacher is still alive. Magister is still alive. And everyone that I know of is still alive. So we're all doing good if we're still alive. So that pretty much covers the update of where things are at in the sense of things. There's some things I need to try to get done and clear off my desk and get some stuff done for teacher before we meet. And yeah, I guess that'll just cover this just overall general video update. Please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget, ring the notification bell for all notifications.